So, I wanted to make a video on trusting God's timing in healing people because so often we're going to meet people all the time. Two people could be so compatible, but now's not the right time because their heart is not healed and we want to cling on to that so much. But it's just so important to trust God's timing. James 1:2, it's count it all joy when you fall into various trials, knowing that the testing of your faith produces patience. So right now, that person in your life, it's not the right time for that, and God doesn't want you to accept that person yet because you might need more developing, or that person might need more developing. But I really want to emphasize on the trials. We're supposed to carry each other's burdens, be there for each other, and that's probably the reason why we met. But it just might not be the right time, and you have to listen to God's timing on that, or something very childish will happen because one person in this is not emotionally available or emotionally stable enough. When it's like one person's not so much at peace, it can create games, which is just so common now in modern dating, situationships. When we go against God's timing in that and really chase after this ourselves, it will just tear us apart. So, number one in signs you're broken is that we reject kindness as a defense mechanism for our ego. I wanted to share a story that one time when I was going through a very, very difficult time, a very kind person reached out to me, but the friendship didn't continue developing just because it was not the right time. And that was a result of the world being broken and how I was filled with hatred, not filled with love. But a year has gone by now. A big step in my healing journey was that I was now able to reach out to this really kind person, make amends, apologize for having such a big ego and taking so much pride and not wanting to, accept just kindness into my life. So Jesus is never petty because his heart is filled with love. The enemy wants us to think that we can't accept kindness and that we're not worthy of being loved, which is why we bring ourselves to such low standards to people who just want to play with us and tear us apart. God will always choose to forgive men who have wronged him over and over, like his two closest friends when he was in the flesh. Those people betrayed him, even though he was just the most perfect human being. People betrayed him, but just because he has so much love in his heart, he'll always choose to forgive us. And when you have people coming to you and you're going to be like Jesus and learn from that and choose to forgive, you're just going to be way stronger. And it really shows that you have matured and grew. So that's a sign of maturity, and that your heart is filled with love when kindness comes to you, and instead of taking it for granted or even shutting it out, you accept it graciously into your heart and you're grateful for it. More about the poison that fills us and what the enemy wants us to feel, just hatred that divides. Situationships are a byproduct of that poison inside us. So humans all have a void, and some people fill it with love, some people fill it with addiction. And when you fill it with things that are addicting instead of sustainable, you're always going to be in this helpless and unpredictable cycle, and you're going to be fine with that because it gets you that temporary high. But it's just truly not good, and that's how situationships keep on going. And it's addicting for a reason, but it's not addicting because of one person. Like, it's never going to be like, oh, I'm so mature and the other person isn't, and that's why we're in a situationship. No, you're addicted to it, and that's why you can't leave it. it's like always gonna be like one person's too weak. Both people are weak, but one is just hurting the other to feel better about their pride and ego, and that's why they're playing games, while the other person is feeding off of this because they don't have the love that is filling them instead. So then I want to ask, why is that person hurting the other person in the situationship? Like, why is there this power dynamic? Hurt people hurt others in this world that is very broken, but they're hurting others because they don't have love in their hearts, and they want to feel the pride and ego that they don't have. And so they respond that way to kind and pure people just because they can't fill it with kindness. I just always notice that more kindness brings more kindness. It's never the other way where it's like there's so much kindness and then like you're having a great day and then you want to make someone else's day bad. It's more like there's kindness, and then if you don't have that kindness, like you might reject it because again, the enemy wants you to think that you're not good enough and that you shouldn't be loved enough. How can I prevent situationships from happening? Well, clear communication. In Matthew 5:37, the verses, all you need is simply yes or no. Anything beyond this comes from the evil one. So yeah, if there's a yes or no answer, not an ambiguous answer, then you know your answer and you leave or you stay. I don't think too much honesty will ever hurt someone unless it's not helpful in the moment. But too much communication, too much honesty, clear communication, that's just so healthy. Like, I don't think anybody's gonna be in a situationship because they know how the other person's feeling. And so in Ephesians 4:15, the verses, instead, speaking the truth in love, we will grow to become, in every respect, the mature body of Him who is the head, that is, in Christ. It may hurt first to even speak truth and bring yourself to speak truth, but if the motivation is love, then you're really not hurting the other person, and there won't be that hurt that will bring you down. It's actually bringing this connection in a better way. And when we speak truth in love, we're doing what Jesus does. We're becoming more and more like Him instead of speaking lies. Who even cares if you're triple texting? Like, why are you trying to create an image of yourself that you're too busy? Like, if you're triple texting and you're confident, it just shows you're secure. That shouldn't be a problem at all. It doesn't show that you don't have a life, because I truly don't believe in being too busy for someone. If you are, then it probably means that person shouldn't be in your life. I can be so busy and packed of schedule, but I'll still get to like communication at the end of the day if I care about someone. We can never predict other people, and when there's mystery, we'll project our desires on that mystery. We're always going to be creating our own images of that person because, again, like, they're not texting, you're going to think they're too busy. They're too busy for you, but that's not even possible. They're probably just rotting away, wanting to seem like they have a busy life. That's just emotional unavailability, and that's emotional instability. Part of people distancing themselves is because they don't want to get hurt. They're trying to protect themselves. Why is that? Should a relationship hurt someone? Well, first of all, if you have love in your heart, personally, I have love in my heart from God. I feel great, like I lack nothing, because I have just so much reassurance from God, and He anchors me. So that helps with my emotional stability for sure. If you're just so filled, you don't even need another person. That person won't complete you. So you'll be fine if you have your firm foundation. The more you think you're going to lose something, you're going to be and like survival instinct of clinging on and attaching. But the more you feel like you have to attach, it's a sign that you need to let go. Because if God is a really good God, why should letting go of something mean that nothing good will ever come again? God always wants to bring us good things. He loves just to give gifts. And you have yourself at the end of the day, and you have God. Let God anchor you. In Psalm 62:2, He is my only rock and my salvation. He is my defense. I should not be greatly moved. So no matter what happens to you, relationships or bad things, they wash over you like waves because you are clinging onto God like a firm rock. You will not be moved with the tide. You'll be fine. He is here to protect you. You should never fear relationships, because if you don't need relationships at the end of the day, that connection you make will just be there to help you find your soul. And you'll grow. It's so important, just a part of growing from every connection of someone. Because humans are made for loving. It's not like we can survive completely alone. It should always be there to point you towards the better direction instead of completing you. But then every time you meet someone and at the end of the relationship, letting go means that you're mature and you've grown a lot. God will always have you meet people to help you in a certain way, but you may outgrow, and it's completely okay to outgrow things and outgrow people. God will call you to move on. If you have complete faith in God loving you and giving you what's best, you shouldn't fear loss. There's a verse, Joel 2:25. God says, I will give you back 7 times what you lost. So, every loss, it's only going to be replaced by greater things. The more you think that you can't let something go because nothing greater will become, you'll be miserable, and God doesn't want that. So you have to trust in His timing. The more you pour into a relationship, you should be reciprocating from it instead of feeling empty. And you're also going to just be in so much peace if you just bathe in the love of God and just fill your heart with love. That way you don't even need to be chasing. This is why I wanted to share, just because I don't want people to suffer in this way of always being in a game where they get hurt over and over again. And I just really hope this video helped you. This is a sign that now may not be the right time. Just keep praying that you'll know when it's the right time, and that there's a reason why everything's not working out right now. Because if you're patient, the right things will click into place because God has a plan. Just like final takeaways of this video, I want to say that we're here to help people, and God intentionally brings people for us to meet so that we can help. But as much as we want to keep on helping and pouring everything we have to help someone, we have to remember to listen and truly see what they need for this healing journey, because they probably need space and time. And again, we have to trust in God's timing. We have to learn to be patient, and patience is one of the biggest trials for sure. But just planting the seed with our kindness in them is already just doing so much honor for God, and it's what we're meant to do. And so giving time, it would just bring so much healing. I reached out to the person who helps me, and I really opened up about this whole cycle of being able to communicate, tell him my side in this video, and how I'm in the same situation now. He said that he actually went through something very similar in the past when his heart was filled with pettiness and bitterness, and he didn't have the maturity to be so kind to other people. So it definitely comes full cycle, but it will be very much worth it, and we just have to trust that God has a plan, and we meet these people for a reason, and everything's going to come well.